projects veering off track? It's time to take control. Start with expert-led project management training from Project Management Global Institute. Gain the skills to plan, lead, and deliver projects on time and on budget. Turn chaos into clarity and stress into success. Explore opportunities today by contacting 876-754-3764 or www.pmglobalinstitute.com.
What's up, racing fans? Tune into CVM to see all of the live action from Rally X.
An all-new Rally X highlights this Friday at 10 p.m.
Welcome to CVM News at noon for this Wednesday, August 13, 2025. I'm Amoy Harriet. Thanks for joining us. Up first this afternoon, a popular tour bus operator was gunned down in Green Island, Hanover on Tuesday, the second murder in the community in just over a week. He is 46-year-old Patcliffe James, otherwise called Juicy, of Johnson Town in the parish. Now, reports are that about 1:30 p.m., James drove his Toyota Voxy to a section of Green Island. It's alleged that as he walked towards the beach, two men on a motorcycle rode up and brandished handguns. The men opened fire, hitting James multiple times in his upper body before escaping. He was rushed to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Now detectives are probing the circumstances surrounding the killing. Over in St. Catherine, a family is alleging that the body of their relative was in possession of a morgue for an extended period of time. They say several complications have occurred, preventing them from having a proper burial for their relative. Kevin Black has the details.
Died. My father died, you know. They said he died at 8:02 at the Spanish Town Hospital.
A St. Catherine woman is distraught after it's alleged her father's body was in a morgue for a period of 12 weeks without the family's knowledge. The deceased, 80-year-old retired mattress maker Roy Minot, who resided in Portmore, St. Catherine at the time of his demise. His daughter, Janice Maraj, found out that her father had succumbed to injuries after he was allegedly hit by a motorcycle. His daughter, Janice Maraj, found out that her father had succumbed to injuries after he was allegedly hit by a motor vehicle. All this while relatives searched and inquired of him, even reporting him missing following a disagreement in the family. She shared that after being brought to the morgue, Minot's body was initially unidentified, which resulted in her family being unable to gain access to the body for burial. She told our news team that the situation has left her family in grief.
As according to the investigating officer, my father had died and was already removed to the morgue. And when they went there, I don't know which officials at the hospital showed them another man, live and well. Man could give his name and everything in bed, and they thought that that was my father. And the police got a report from the 27th of April. From the 27th of April. That my father was missing. And the investigating officer said when the last list came down, the 22nd, I think he was assigned to it now. So for 12 weeks, my father has been missing in a morgue.
Maraj says her father's death information was allegedly included on a list that was sent multiple times to the relevant authorities. Despite numerous attempts, she maintains she was still unable to receive her father's body for burial.
What went wrong? What went wrong? You understand me? The police, what did they do? My father is 80 years old. You understand me? My father, he was here before independence. He was here before independence, and it's like they just discarded my father's body. The commissioner, I need you to investigate this. Minister of Health, what happened at the hospital? Why somebody else was identified as my father, that I could not get my father's body to bury, but no.
She further went on to express her belief that the situation resulted due to negligence of the parties involved.
How did the police not know that my father went to that morgue? What happened at the Spanish Town Hospital? What happened with the police? What happened? I don't know why my father got killed 12 weeks and in Archer's morgue and nobody know until the 30th of July.
Ms. Maraj is pleading with the relevant authorities to grant assistance to her family in rectifying this matter. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Did the Jamaica Labour Party's Dr. Christopher Tufton draw a bad card when he pulled out and played a voice note from the archives of political rhetorics? Amid allegations of adopted remarks by a PNP senior member, CVM News got wind of what is deemed to have been the actual comment. More in this development from Carolyn Brown.
One could say Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton was pressing gas on achievements by his ministry, much to the delight of those gathered in Halfway Tree when he made a detour.
We cannot trust them or their leader and that party to take this country forward. We're at a delicate stage. And guess what? I know me say you can't trust them to run Jamaica. And them say so.
What blared over the speakers sent the already charged Labourites into a frenzy. An audio message sounding like the voice of a long-standing People's National Party stalwart, allegedly speaking against the opposition leader in the role of Prime Minister.
I know me say so. A KD Knight say so. Them say if Frisch go river bottom and tell you say, no go down there, don't go down the Labourites.
That scenario is now a major bone of contention between the JLP and Dr. Tufton in particular, according to King's Counsel KD Knight, who has disassociated himself, making his position clear in a voice note he has issued.
Far from saying that he must never be the Prime Minister of Jamaica, I am saying that I have worked with him and I am now working for him to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Well, the Knight-Tufton controversy gathers momentum.
I've always known KD Knight to be a man who expresses himself and has no fear or favor in expressing himself. I am disappointed that at this occasion he's attempting to change what he has said on record, and it leads me to believe that he's not at this point operating as a man with a conviction or with principle. That is quite unfortunate, and I will stand by my position, hold my position.
You have defamed me, adds KD.
You will hear from my lawyers, Dr. Tufton, because I've instructed them to leave no stone unturned to ensure that the lie that you were a party to publicizing on Sunday, that lie will be made clear to the people of Jamaica.
I'm not intimidated, rebuffs Tufton.
Made a comment based on the evidence that is available in the public domain. The facts are that KD Knight has attempted to discredit, based on his conviction and how it was expressed, the leader of the PNP, Mark Golding. He did so in a particular context. Yes, I agree, but the facts remain.
But then came this.
There are still some people today saying that Mark Golding must never become Prime Minister of Jamaica. These realities must be faced. These are realities. These are realities, and they cause disunity.
Carolyn Brown, CVM News.
And it's now time for a break, but stay with us more when we return.
Advertisements Jamaica is your conformance testing partner with over 54 years of serving Jamaican businesses. Our world-class lab testing services ensure the safety of your food and commodities that you take to market. We are positioned as a business enabler, driving business development, competitiveness, trade, and ensuring consumer safety. We have 5 times the capacity to test over other local labs, plus 10 labs with accredited tests and calibration. We set the standard that promotes safety to consumers in a number of industries, including food processing, agriculture, and construction, having tested over 57,000 products on average annually and growing.
Hi, my name is Valton Gooden, and I'm the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards. Let us take your products from lab to market.
I thought we were going on a vacation. But it's more like 3 vacations in one.
Franklin D Resort and Spa welcomes you to a gem in Runaway Bay, where you'll experience a truly authentic Jamaican escape. And yes, everything's included, from spacious 1 to 4 bedroom suites to your very own vacation nanny, from check-in to check-out. Jamaican owned with service that smiles. Call us now for rates. Franklin D Resort and Spa. Easy to get to, easier to love.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. The private sector organization of Jamaica and the opposition are joining forces in sounding the alarm on high energy costs, warning that businesses cannot remain competitive if the country fails to reform its energy landscape. The call comes amid growing pressure on government to address electricity prices and the terms of the JPS license before its 2027 expiration. Raymond Morrison has this report.
High energy costs. That's the single biggest factor eroding business competitiveness in Jamaica, according to the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ. Executive Director Sasha Vassiani Riley says rising electricity prices are strangling productivity and making it hard for companies to compete at home and abroad.
The business community has grappled for a long time with high cost of electricity. Our manufacturers in particular suffer at the huge cost of electricity. And of course, we know that that also now translates to high cost of doing business and the high cost of products being manufactured here in Jamaica as a result of high electricity rates. But our manufacturers aren't the only sectors that are affected. We have the financial institutions, we have the hoteliers and the hotel associations who also incur massive electricity costs.
Riley says solar energy is a crucial part of the solution.
We believe too that solar is in fact the way to go. However, the cost of the equipment for solar generation as well as solar storage is very prohibitive. And so whilst there are policies that encourage the use of solar energy and there are certain facilities that are provided in terms of solar grants, etc., it is still not sufficiently affordable for businesses.
But she warns that there must be clear agreements between the JPS and the solar providers, especially as government prepares to renegotiate the all-island license.
Once the solar is generated and stored, the arrangement that needs to be put in place for it to be sold to the JPS or other providers, that framework is not yet properly negotiated, we believe, and we believe that this is one area of the renegotiation of the JPS license which needs to be addressed as well.
The concerns were echoed by opposition spokesman on energy Philip Paulwell, who says high electricity costs are not just a business issue, but a national economic threat. He argues that the energy reform cannot wait until the JPS license expires in 2027.
The fact of the matter is that energy costs in Jamaica is far too high, and as a result, we have not been able to have sustained growth. We've not been able to have appreciable growth in our economy, and that's the reason why many of our businesses are uncompetitive. The price of electricity being so high affects our consumers. The cost of living has been great as a result, and we have to find a way to bring the cost down.
He also reminded that Jamaica was the first non-North American free trade agreement, non-NAFTA country approved for liquefied natural gas, LNG, with a vision to serve not just local demand, but the wider region.
Jamaica was the first non-NAFTA country to be approved for LNG. The aim was to have, when people don't understand, when we speak about LNG, the fuel that is actually burned is natural gas. The L is to liquefy it to enable transportation. But when it gets here, you have to regasify it. So it requires an infrastructure, a regasification infrastructure. And the aim was to build a regasification infrastructure to sustain not only the demand for Jamaica, but we wanted Jamaica to be the hub so that Dumrep and other countries could get from this regasification plant natural gas.
With both the business community and the political opposition demanding urgent action, pressure is mounting for the government to tackle energy costs, accelerate renewables, and lock in pro-business terms well before the JPS license deadline. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
And it's time for a break, but stay with us. More news on the other side of these messages.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
The time by Subaru is 12:15.
What's up, racing fans? Tune into CVM to see all of the live action from Rally X.
An all-new Rally X highlights this Friday at 10 p.m.
Welcome back. We continue the news. As the political stage heats up ahead of the upcoming election, opposition members took center stage in Lionel Town, Clarendon, addressing supporters and residents of the constituency. The gathering focused sharply on concerns surrounding two of the nation's most critical sectors, health and education, with speakers highlighting what they say are pressing shortcomings under the current administration. Crystal Williams reports.
On their way through Lionel Town, Clarendon on Sunday, members of the People's National Party, PNP, sought to remind the locals in Clarendon Southwestern of perceived limitations within the current government, and just in time for the announcement of the election date. Opposition Senator and PNP spokesman on education, Damian Crawford, shared statistics affecting the education system that he says needs to be reversed.
The JLP has moved literacy in 4th grade from 84% in 2015 to 65% in 2024.
Senator Crawford also reminded the constituents of the various factors affecting the teachers of today's electorate.
They removed the special 1% NHT from the teachers and said they no longer offer it with no reason given. They gave themselves 300% and give the teachers 20%.
He countered with the promise of a solution to the issues, among them the matter of tertiary education fees.
And the PMP has committed that the first child in any family to get into university will get a full scholarship.
Meanwhile, party president Mark Golding also made mention of a deficiency he noticed in hospital resources. He expressed that there were portions of the government's budget for these resources that may have not been honestly accounted for.
The government buys a drill from a company that a JLP MP has 80% of the shares in, and the drill is valued at $3 to $4 million, but they buy it for $31.5 million.
Member of Parliament for Clarendon Southwestern, Lothan Cousins, agreed that the contributions of the voters in the area will make a difference in Jamaica's future.
We are on a mission. We are on a mission to rescue Jamaica. And we cannot rescue Jamaica unless Clarendon also plays its role in rescuing Jamaica.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
The government's social housing program is said to encompass 45 active construction projects which provide housing for the needy. Ground has been broken by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness at the Haven Construction Development in Central Kingston.
Yes, I hear some people saying them look nice because we do things proper.
Central Kingston, one of the oldest residential areas in the Kingston and St. Andrew municipality, a seat once held by PNP President Michael Manley, but as time progressed, the population grew while development stalled. Historically, people in the area lived in tenement yards, characterized by poor infrastructure and overcrowding. It's why